Hi, today we've got a video update on the Subaru Levorg. Now, it's the first time that Subaru has sold this type of model WRX wagon effectively here in Australia since the WRX was first released in MY15 model range, which is the same car that we use as our R&D vehicle. And this particular car has been very popular in Japan, and due to the lack of a wagon model in the Liberty GT range these days of similar specification from a performance point of view, obviously we would assume that Subaru has brought this model out to try and fill that gap. And of course, with the performance of the new 2-litre direct injection engine and some other features that has been successful with the release of the WRX, you would like to think that the Levorg is going to capture some of that increased market share that it lost many years ago when they ceased the hatch model of the WRX and STI range, and right back before then when they had the proper wagon version. So let's have a look at this particular car, and in the next 5 minutes I'm going to talk about what you can expect from a performance improvement, the XA, XB, and why we don't recommend the XC kit on this particular model car. So stay with us and we'll explain to you what you can do from a performance tuning and upgrade point of view, and keep your new car factory warranty guarantee. Now, one of the first things you'll notice straight away is Levorg, unlike the WRX, comes out with single outlet rear mufflers. The WRX has twins. Interestingly, the Forester of the same year model only has twin mufflers on the twin mufflers with single outlets on the back as well. Now, you might wonder why we've got the factory standard mufflers fitted with our modified exhaust system. The reason being is we've found with our testing, it's just not worth replacing the rear mufflers because you're lucky to gain 2 or 3 kilowatts at the wheels, but you will gain a nasty, horrible noise in the way the car runs. Now, you've got to remember, with the increased cabin space of the wagon model, it's more prone to making that horrible booming noise that you get on the freeway around 100, 110 kilometres an hour. So you don't want to have something that's echoing badly, and also more likely you're going to be carrying a family around in this type of car, unlike the sedan model. So we make our exhaust system has been tested and tuned to suit the factory rear mufflers. We do offer an option, but we encourage people not to change the rear mufflers. So the exhaust system that we designed bolts up to the factory standard rear mufflers using all original gaskets and bolts, and it comes out of a Y pipe at the back with a 3-inch exhaust. Now, you'll see also just some of the small things around here. I'll get my cameraman to come around. It all originally fits on the original factory mounts. There's a rubber hanger up inside here, and then the exhaust neatly goes around to a center muffler to reduce that drone noise that you don't want when you're driving the car at low engine revs or high freeway speeds. And it goes right up to the front here, and this part here is a critical part of the exhaust system that a lot of people don't understand. There's a flexible joint in there. Now, let's have a look down on the ground. You can see Subaru build their exhaust system similar to what we design ours, and you have a flexible joint in the middle because everything from there forward is bolted to the transmission and the engine, and from here back it's bolted and hung on the rubber mounts of the body. So of course you want some allowance of movement when the engine flexes and moves backwards and forwards, so you don't move and pull and push on the whole exhaust system. So what we've designed in our exhaust is a similar ball joint design, so it's very durable, lasts a long time, very, very hard to damage. Some of these other exhaust systems don't come with any flexible joint at all, or they come with a mesh type joint, which over a period of time can get damaged if you're bottoming the car out. The other small thing I wanted to point out, you'll notice with the MRT exhaust system, is the ground clearance is very, very tight fit to the underside of the body to maximize the ground clearance. In fact, our exhaust system almost maintains the same ground clearance as what you get with the original factory exhaust. When you're looking at some of these aftermarket Chinese exhaust systems or so-called exhaust systems custom made on a hoist, the part that you've got to remember is it's a typical lazy way to have the exhaust to hang down lower, so there's less chance of it hitting up under the body, which makes it easier for the fabricator or the manufacturer to design the exhaust, or if they've got production variations. There's in fact one very well-known brand of exhaust system sold in Australia. The exhaust actually hangs down about ½ an inch lower than ours because they want it well away from the body, because their production variation is so big that they have the joints and the bends not in the right places consistently, and they get all these problems with rattling. So by hanging the exhaust system down lower, they have less chance of the exhaust system rattling. But the downside is you lose all the ground clearance on the car when you fit their brand of exhaust. But let's just touch on the positive side of things. And with the Levorg, it comes with a Cvt automatic transmission And the bracketry around the back here is different to the 6-speed manual transmission that comes on the WRX. The Levorg is only available in Australia at the moment with the Cvt Trans, and the MRT exhaust system bolts up here. This is one of our test pipes, but the part's exactly the same. I'll get my cameraman to come around from the front. This is the original factory hanger here, and if you get a bit of a close-up, you'll see this is the part that bolts on the back of the transmission, and this is where it bolts up to our modified exhaust. And of course, this part here is critical to fit with the original parts off the original factory exhaust as well, which you'll see the joint down here on the ground. And that's the way it fits factory standard as well. So of course the MRT exhaust system bolts straight up to the original mounts on the back of the transmission without any hassles. And of course it goes through a high flow catalytic converter. There's a rear O2 sensor here and another O2 sensor up the front, measuring before and after catalytic converter. And this part right here goes into the back of the twin scroll turbo, which is factory standard on the DIT Subaru turbo engine these days. Now what I will want to show you, which is a lot of other people don't do, is on the MRT exhaust systems we include a heat shield here which protects the radiant heat of this part of the exhaust system from the lower radiator hose, because when the engine is running under high load, this part here is all glowing cherry red, and you've got this rubber hose with water inside it, which is obviously part of your cooling system. And the last thing you need is the heat transferring into a cooling system, but worst of all, you don't want scorching of the rubber hose and long-term damage. And if you have a look at the Subaru part, you'll notice Subaru put a lot of heat shielding around the backside of their exhaust system here to make sure that there's little chance of damage to the bottom radiator hose as well. But one thing that I will point out, which is critical, and some of these things are often overlooked, you'll notice these are the factory sensors that bolt straight back in place, but you see this little bolt hole here? This is actually part that goes to an earth strap for the exhaust system that bolts to the electrical part of the Subaru body. And this part here is that earth strap, and it goes up onto the body. And of course, if you're buying an aftermarket exhaust system as well, you want to make sure it's got a fitting for that. Now you might ask yourself, well, why do I need a performance exhaust for my Levorg? Well, on this particular model car, one of the restrictions is in the exhaust system, but you don't actually have to. You can get a performance upgrade with a custom tune using race-rom technology, which will give a healthy increase in performance, because the twin scroll turbo on these new DIT engines is absolutely fantastic turbo. You'll notice it's now down underneath the engine, and that has been typical since the MY13 Subaru Forester first came out in Australia, and then the WRX and MY15, and now the Levorg. Very, very similar engine. The original model turbo EJ series engines, the turbo was up the top at the back with the exhaust system coming down the side here, but now with the exhaust and the turbo combined together out of the single model part of the extractors out of the bottom of the engine, these cars come on boost very, very early, but actually falls off after you accelerate hard in first, second, third gear. Now, being a Cvt transmission, it's not as obvious, but if you drive the car in manual mode, which is where it mimics an 8-speed transmission, you'll actually feel the car accelerate hard under boost, and then the boost falls away. Now, with a good quality race-rom ECU tune from us or one of our agents, you can actually maintain that boost a lot longer to get a much better performance increase. And we're talking, depending on where you measure it on the dyno graph, of around anywhere between 15 and 30 kilowatts, but a massive increase in mid-range torque around the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. So after you've done that, which we call our XA power kit, which is a complete custom tune with the maximum performance you can get with no mechanical parts, the next thing that you need to consider is what is restricting that performance to get more upgrades on top of the XA kit. And as part of our testing, we've found, like the WRX, it's an exhaust system. So if you put a good quality exhaust with a good quality high flow catalytic converter, all the right parts that we've just shown here, you can then add about another 15 to 20 kilowatts mid-range to increase the performance of the car. Now, at that point in time, I will point out we're still giving our new car factory warranty guarantee for the life of the Subaru factory warranty. And of course, you get the lifetime warranty on all of our parts. So if you own this car in 10 years' time and one of the brackets breaks or the catalytic converter fails, we'll actually fix it under our lifetime warranty guarantee. But one thing you do need to remember is the Cvt transmission, because the Cvt transmission is only rated for a certain amount of torque. And if you put too much torque through this transmission, i.e. you're chasing too much power, you will have long-term transmission problems and that is the only thing that we cannot guarantee with the new car factory warranty guarantee, because unfortunately there are people out there that drive these cars with one foot on the brake pedal and 1 foot on the accelerator and stall it up and do big launches, and ultimately that is what does a lot of long-term damage to this transmission. And I'll get my cameraman to show you just how big this transmission is, and come around from the side. You can see it's a very, very big transmission, because you've got the drive shafts coming out of the front diff, and all this part here is the Cvt transmission, and you'll see one of our other videos that is where we pull one of these apart so you can actually see what's inside it. But it is, there's no gears inside there. Effectively, it's a constantly variable transmission to give you the engine keeping the performance at a certain RPM to hold it in peak torque to make it go as well as possible. And the XC power kit that we offer on the other range of DIT engines, such as the WRX with the manual transmission, which takes it to one step level again beyond our XB kit, is not recommended for the CVT transmission car. So there you have it. If you're looking for some fantastic ways to improve the performance of your Subaru Levorg, you've got the XA power kit, the XB power kit. Comes with our Subaru factory warranty guarantee, lifetime warranty on the parts, money back guarantee, but also one little thing that we also offer as well, which a lot of workshops don't. You're probably wondering, what does the exhaust system sound like? Well, when these cars start up on cold start, they have a funny echo in the way the car gets to maximum operating temperature as quickly as it can to get the catalytic converter heated up so it passes the emissions test on cold start. And some people absolutely hate that noise. So as part of our tuning upgrade, we've actually designed the tune on cold start to work in with the design of our exhaust. And 2 years ago, when we were doing all this R&D testing on my WRX, we were very, very fussy about getting the very best that we could out of the cold start noise, because we don't want to have situations where people don't like the sound of the exhaust. So if you get our exhaust system fitted and for some reason up to 30 days you don't like the way it sounds, we give what we call our noise guarantee, meaning you can come back, we'll refund you in full, you don't have to pay for it all. That gives you the comfort in knowing that if you're getting one of our power kits, you don't have to worry about whether you're going to like or hate the way the exhaust sounds, and you can test it out and try it for yourself. So there you have it, XA, XB power kits. Have a look at the bottom of this video. We'll load some dyno data from this Levorg series of cars, as well as some other comparison data for the WRX models, and we'll also show you some still photos of all of these particular parts fitted to the car. And check out our other videos on the road testing of this particular car, so you can get a bit of an idea of what it's like to drive, because I've been testing this car for a couple of days, and I must say I really do like the cruisy, comfy way that this car actually drives in city traffic, unlike the manual transmission car that I regularly drive, which is my 2-year-old WRX. But for today, no matter where you are in the world, I hope this video has helped you learn more about your Subaru Levorg. My name is Brett Middleton. On behalf of MRT Performance, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. Check out our new website. We've done some fantastic updates. You can search your car in the drop-down menu. But for now, speak to you again soon.